Hello everybody, it's Brian here. It's been a while since my last video. After I got back to Toronto following the MGK bash, we had to go up north to cottage country, and we spent a week at a cottage that we rented up there. So it's been a while since my last video, unfortunately, but I wanted to today focus on the items I picked up but haven't talked about yet. And just to wrap up the MGK bash, and I guess the first thing I need to say is a big thank you to Mike and especially Patty for letting largely unknown people into their house. I mean, we know each other online, but it is pretty incredible that they do this for us every year. I've been 3 years now, and this year I got the pleasure of meeting 3 people I had not met before. Those are Richard from Richard's Vinyl Tap House. I met Greg from 3 Dimensions of Music, and I met Sean of Vinyl Sean, who I'll mention again very soon. So today I'm going to just talk about things I picked up. I might throw a few clips in of things we did. For example, on Friday morning, kind of like this time where there was nothing scheduled. So Jack and David and I went down to Canal Side, the waterfront in Buffalo. There was a naval museum there. It was kind of an interesting place to go to. No. Following that, and again, I'm losing track of the order of things, but I ended up going to the cemetery tour. What's a cemetery tour? I have no idea. Anyway, I went to the cemetery tour that was led by Randy from the Lion's Den. So he took us there and we saw the grave of Rick James. On the way there, we saw the old mansion that Rick James lived in. So I thought that was pretty cool. And after lunch, we headed out to Black Dots Records. But before I talk about that, I want to go back to Vinyl Sean for a moment because he gave me this nice piece of VCLT, which I did not expect. This comes out of some comments regarding this band. I made some comment that I don't own anything by this band, I think. But I know who they are, and I thought I may have heard something from them before, but I didn't own anything. So he brought me this compilation from the Blue Aeroplanes called Friend, Lover, Plane from 1988. And I have listened to it, and I will say that some of the tracks did spark a memory in my old brain. So that was pretty cool. I did really enjoy this, and I think if I find other Blue Airplane records from the Blue Airplanes, I'll probably pick them up if the price is good. So thank you very much, Sean, for bringing me a record all the way from your hometown. I'll show you the label there. So pretty cool. Thank you, Sean. I will put a link to Sean's channel so you can all subscribe to Sean, because I think you should. So then we made our way to Black Dots Record, and we had this deal, which I'm sure you've seen before, which is 10% off anything in the store, plus anything that's under $10, you get 50% off. And then if you bought stuff from the dollar bin, you have 4 items for $1. I did not go through the dollar bins. I don't really have a lot of patience for that.
It's for the AC, David.
I come here to get a wrestling hoop.
You feel this? That's AC.
So we're just getting at the hurt again.
So 10% off. 81. It was just before El Loco came out. Yeah, well, it was just before El Loco came out.
Now, weirdly, I bought two records that I already own, but there's a reason for it. So the first is this record from Mike Oldfield called 5 Miles Out. I have a copy of this. I've had it for quite some time. However, side 2 is just filled with noise. It's just impossible to listen to. So I took a chance on this because, well, there's several labels in here, successive markdowns, but the final markdown was $1.99. So that's cheaper than a thrift store. So, but even then it was 50% off. So it was essentially $1 for this record, $1 American, which is like $1.42 Canadian or something like that. And I played this record and will tell you that side 2 is perfect. I haven't played side 1 yet. I know that side fairly well. I do love this album. 5 Miles Out, I think, is a fantastic song. Of course, it has Family Man, later covered by Hall & Oates. A really great record, if you ask me. So let me show you the inside of that. Epic. Epic and epic. So very cool. I was happy to find that. For years now, I've been thinking I should get a better copy of that, but I've never seen a copy under $10, and I thought I don't want to pay that much for it. So $1 record you cannot turn down. The second record I also own, but I bought it for a specific reason. This is a record I've had. This came out in 1986, and I've had this record for a very long time. That is Famous Blue Raincoat, of course. The songs of Leonard Cohen sung by Jennifer Warrens. I have a Canadian pressing of this. It's in pretty good shape, but it's missing the original inner sleeve. So I saw this there for originally, well, I don't know what the older price tags say, but it's $3.99. So that was $2 for a pressing that's still in the shrink wrap and has the original inner sleeve with the lyrics, which is what I wanted to get. And there we have the labels on that one. So that was a happy find. I was really delighted to get that for such a great price. So that's an American pressing. I have a Canadian one. I'll probably get rid of the Canadian one. We will see how it goes. And then I bought a sealed new record that was in their used collection. I don't know why. And it's a band that I was really eager to get everything I could buy them for let me just say the first 3 or 4 records I quite liked. And then I just lost track of them and didn't follow them. So I'm talking about Arcade Fire. This is We, which is, I guess, the 5th record, I think. Or maybe, no, it's not. I think there was one before that, or 2 before that. You can tell how out of date I am with Arcade Fire. But I love the first 4 records, and I guess I took a pause. But this, again, has several price tags on it, but the last one is $10.99, and 10% off of that. I know with the conversion of currency, it's a bit more than that. But I was surprised to see this, a sealed copy. I'm going to take it fully out of the shrink wrap here, because I haven't even looked at the records yet. So, of course, a band from Montreal, as I'm sure you will know. Here's this large poster, which I don't think I can actually unfold and show you because it's quite large. Anyway, so that is cool. And the record, I think I said records, there's one record in here. And it is on white vinyl. I have not listened to this yet. I don't even know if I know any tracks on this record because it's just a band that I kind of, as I say, just lost track of. So I'll be curious to hear that when the time comes. Then I bought this record by Yellow, You Gotta Say Yes to Another Excess. Again, $8.99, but 50% off that. I have 2 other Yellow records, both of which I bought at Black Dots Records last year. And since that time, I have been looking in used record stores for Yellow records. And up here, they're really expensive. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a $20 or $25 record here. But this was like, well, $4.50. This is the last record with the third dude, whose name escapes me. Carlos Perron, I guess, is the guy who left, leaving Dietermeyer and Boris Blank. I will say this is not in perfect condition. There are a few scuffs, but it plays through quite nicely with just a little bit of crackle that you can hear between the tracks. I think it's quite good. And of course, you may know the song I Love You. I think that was the single from here. I think there were 2 singles from here, but I Love You was one. And maybe the title track, You Gotta Say Yes to Another Excess, I think was a single. So I was happy to find that. Next, you may think I'm a bad Canadian because this is a record I did not own until last week. This is Triumph Allied Forces. I have other Triumph records, and this one, I guess I just never bought. Again, because they seem to be quite pricey up here, at least where I'm looking. And I will say, the song Magic Power, I know it's a big hit for them. I don't really like that song, so maybe that's one of the reasons why I didn't buy it. But again, this was $3.99, so $2 for this Triumph record. Just the inner sleeves a bit split there. And I haven't played this one yet. RCA labels. Excellent. Happy to grab that. And then I bought 2 sealed records that were, again, 10% off, both of which I had never heard before, and I don't think I even knew about them. So this is Bright Eyes, a collection of songs written and recorded in 1995 to 1997. You can see the original price there with 10% off, and it says, this EP, recorded by the core trio of Connor Oberst, Mike Mogis, and Nate Walcott, along with a handful of special guests, features new versions of classic songs from the era of a collection of songs written and recorded in 1995-1997, including Driving Fast Through a Big City at Night and Falling Out of Love at This Volume. Includes digital download. So 6 tracks on here. And again, I haven't even opened it. Wait. I need to get something to open this with. Okay. That tells you how far along I got with these records. I haven't listened to this yet. I haven't even opened it. So there is a digital download card in there. And it looks like this. Very cool. That is going into the listening pile because I have some Bright Eyes on compact disc, but I don't know if I've heard any of these tracks before. So that's Bright Eyes. And the next one, again with 10% off, is Bright Eyes, Letting Off the Happiness. Again, featuring newly recorded versions of classic songs from the era of Letting Off the Happiness, including June of the West Coast and Contrast and Compare, and features guest appearances by Phoebe Bridgers, Katie Crutchfield, and Waxahachie, M. Ward, and others. So pretty cool there. And I guess I'll have to open this one too because I haven't done it yet. So hang on. It's always harder to do when someone's watching you. And there's a digital download card in there. And it looks like the same color of vinyl as the other record. So that is cool. I am looking forward to those. The last thing I bought on Friday was a 12-inch single harkening back to my glory days when I was an undergrad. This song came out during that time period, and it was one of those classic tracks that everyone loved. And, you know, I love this track, but for some reason I have it on a CD, but never on vinyl. So this is I Touch Roses by Book of Love, which is just a classic new wave track. This features the I Touch Roses long-stemmed version, which is 5 minutes and 43 seconds, plus the original single mix in a track called Lost Souls. And this is on the Sire label. I did play side A of this. It's fantastic. It just brought back so many memories. Such a classic track from those days.
All right, let's round her up.
Whatever it is.
Everybody moving out.
On Saturday morning, French Vinyl Addict came down to Buffalo. He lives on the west side of Toronto, west end of Toronto area, and he came down. So David and Jack and I took him to Revolver Records because he missed the Revolver Records day. I don't think any of us bought anything there. And then we headed over to Black Dots once again. And lo and behold, I bought some more things at Black Dots. I don't know why, but I did. And the first one I bought is, again, a record I have bought before, but no longer have. And the reason I don't have it is when I bought it, the wrong record was in the sleeve. So I saw this sitting there, and I misplaced the sleeve for this, but it was, at the end of the day, it was like $1 or something for this Jim Croce record. I Got a Name, which is really just a nostalgia record for me because my dad had a copy of Photographs and Memories, the collection of his best tracks. And, you know, it should be a person I don't like because it was played often in our house, but for some reason these songs have stuck with me, and I really love the track I Got a Name. Lover's Cross is on here, Working at the Car Wash Blues, I Have to Say I Love You in a Song. You might know these songs if you know him. So yeah, kind of like a bit of nostalgia for me. I wouldn't pay a lot of money for this, but for like probably $1 or $1.50, I thought that would be pretty cool to have. Of course, he had a tragic life, died at age 30 in a airplane crash, I believe. So again, not a perfect copy. There is a bit of crackle between tracks, but during the songs, it's not an issue. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I bought this record really for no good reason except it was $2.99, so half of that, $1.50. And I have heard that this record sounds fantastic. Someone likened it somewhere on the vinyl community to an audiophile pressing. I don't know if that's actually true. This is Rick Ocasek's Beatitude. Again, $2.99 marked down by 50%. I've never heard, as far as I know, I've never heard any tracks on here, but I might be surprised when I play it because I don't really remember. So this is not something I would have paid a lot of money for, but at that price I thought, why not? I'll see if it does live up to the hype that I have heard of the pressing quality. And this is, and I don't know which pressing he was referring to. This is an American pressing. So there we go, Rick Ocasek. Yeah, so we'll see how that is. I don't, later cars kind of bored me a little bit, but we will see what's going on with that. Next, another Canadian record that I did not own. I have other records by this particular group, but not this one. I guess it gets mediocre reviews online, and that is by the band. $9.99, but again, $5. This is Cahoots. So there we go. And I was in the store and I was talking to Jack because I couldn't remember what songs I might have known, but he reminded me that Life is a Carnival, When I Paint My Masterpiece are on here. And when I did play this, yes, I definitely had heard those tracks before. So we'll see. And I have played it once only, so. That's the label for that. So a good deal on that. I don't often see this record, or maybe I just don't look for it, but I thought for $5, again, that's more Canadian. I thought it was a pretty fine investment. And then another Canadian record from Joni Mitchell. Now, I've said before, I'm not the world's biggest Joni Mitchell fan. I like the sort of well-known tracks. I think they're fine. I don't know. I'd never heard a single track on here, I'm sure, because I played this. They're all new to me. But $9.99 marked down, so it's $5. The Hissing of Summer Lawns, a record that really terrible reviews when it came out, and then later years people have reevaluated it and think it's pretty good. And I thought it was pretty good. It's a bit jazzy in places. The track that really got me was, I think it was The Jungle Line. I thought it was really interesting. But totally new for me. I only have like 4 other Joni Mitchell records. So, The Hissing of Summer Lawns from 1975. I haven't been telling you when these records came out, but you can look it up if you want to know. And then the last thing I got at Black Dots was, again, another $10 record that was marked down to $5. And this is an artist that I have quite a lot from, but not this particular one. So this is, again, $9.99 marked down to $5, and it's Alice Cooper's Lace and Whiskey from 1975. And this, oddly, is a Canadian pressing that made its way over to Buffalo. So there you go. It does feature that track, You and Me, the kind of like soft rock AM. I think it was played on AM radio, soft rock hit that we all know. I don't actually mind that song, but most of the other songs I've heard only a couple of times for some reason. It wasn't really the era that I was really interested in Alice Cooper. Well, sort of. Anyway, pretty interesting labels. So that's a pretty interesting buy. So that was, again, $5. And then we actually had the party that day, which was quite good. We, people were either up in Mike's music room or down on the front porch. I forgot to mention the Colton Awards happened. Oh, and I actually won a Colton Award, and I forgot to bring this the thing over here to show you that I won it. But I'm sure you've seen that video already. People have posted Colton Award videos. And again, just big thanks to Mike and Patty, and also thanks to people who made the trip and spent the money to come to Buffalo for the 3rd annual MGK Summer Bash. It was a great time. And I hope to do it again next year. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
When we did the huge Chicago meetup last summer, we had like 10 of us. We started doing record shops and stuff like that. We were looking for a place. We went to Pizza. They loved it. I mean, at the end of the day, regardless of favorite pizza, it's good pizza. It's a good pizza. Now, Randy,
as soon as I saw this place, I said,
Chicago pizza. Everybody talks about deep dish. In my opinion, it's the tavern style thin crust
Is this a food channel or something?
Correct. So this is a food channel landing. So you have two different styles in Chicago. You have your deep dish pizza, whatever.
Okay.
And then you have what I would consider like true
compared to what it was when we moved in,
Chicago pizza. The thin crust, and we call it tavern style, square cut.
Okay.
Pizza.
oh, so even though it's a